guys, it's Chris Luck, and if I zoom in with this 15mm that I'm recording with right now, you see the moon way over there, and from that angle it's not a good spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my 600mm. Well, it's a 150 to 600, and let me switch to that and I'll show you why photographing the moon in the daylight is pretty easy. And I'll show you my settings and everything, and we're gonna get a good photo of that. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident we will. I guess we'll find out. I got a hair on my lens here. So I got my 600. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just set a basic setting for daylight, and let's go. I'm gonna start with f8, and we're gonna go to 1/1600th of a second. And the reason why we're going that low is because one, it's daylight, but two, you really want to capture emotion. And this lens is not the best stabilized, and I'm not going to be using a tripod for this either. So the only time I ever really use a tripod is when the moon is orange or a blood moon, and that's the only time. So let me go over here and let's see if we get a photo from a better angle. Why don't you walk with me? You'll notice as we walk, the moon actually becomes closer to those trees, closer to those mountains back there. And I'm gonna get really under it, so that way it should be stacked on top of each other. So we'll see if that works. And already it's a way better composition. And let's just keep coming up here further. All right, already we got a better angle of the moon. There is just one tree in the way, so I'm gonna see if I can get that out of the way. And there's like 4 trees lined up in a row. So I'm gonna try to photograph that with the settings that I just told you. Guys, you will not believe this. The very first photo I took, there was a bald eagle right in the center of the moon. I'm gonna see if I could play it back, and maybe I could zoom in like to like 1000% or something, and see if you could see the eagle actually fly over the moon. It's at 15mm, so I don't know if that's gonna be possible. Guys, you won't believe it. Well, let me show you exactly what I captured here. So basically the eagle flew over. It was a little underexposed. I started at 200 ISO. I think I forgot to tell you that, but I shot at 400 ISO, 1/1600 of a second, and f8. The reason I do f8 is because it does a fairly good job of getting the moon and the trees in focus without having one being more blurry than the other. There was another tree that was slightly out of the depth of field, but I do like the way that ended up looking. I just wanted to explain why shooting the moon in the daylight is nice, just because of the fact that you can shoot at a very high shutter speed, which means you could shoot handheld. You know everything's gonna be freeze framed perfectly. So that's just one advantage of shooting the moon in the daylight. I don't know how it is around where you guys are, but in 2 days, the moon will technically be a full moon, and it always rises at like a perfect golden hour, and you only capture it like once a year due to our weather here. So that's just something to think about. You know, full moon does come out at a good time, so it's a good orange moon with just enough light to shoot handheld, and it's just an overall really fun experience. If you do have to shoot the moon for a longer exposure, I recommend using the tripod collar that your Canon or your Sigma lens comes with. Well, that's what mine comes with. And then I ended up putting a long tripod plate, the longer the better, just so it can use as much stabilization as possible. And then you want to set your focus and everything, and take the exposure with a 2 or 10 second timer, or if you can customize a timer on your thing, or use an intervalometer, and just snap it with a, you know, or a shutter speed thing, or shutter button. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I took some other photos, some seagulls flying by here, and the goal this year is to not necessarily post 15-minute vlogs of me just driving around and showing you something, but I want to kind of teach as I go as well, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that. Let me show you one tip when it comes to capturing a sunset when the mountains have some glow on them, but there's no clouds in the sky. There's nothing in the sky that's really beautiful. So let me show you a trick that I use. So we'll walk over here, okay? If you notice these cool ice sculptures in the thing, like this, like these real flaky ice things. So, all right. So as you can see, no clouds in the sky. There is a little reflection of that mountain there. That would be not Heitman. That's, I think, Raymond Peak. I'm having drawn a blank right now. So anyway, a lot of people might take a photo like this. They'll include that plain, boring sky. I'm going to show you one trick, and it's all you got to do is go closer to the ground. Watch this. I'm going to talk to you from the back of the camera here. So first thing I'll do is, as you point the camera down to the ground and remove that sky, look at that. So now you got a nice leading line with the snow in it. Now I'm going to lower the whole tripod itself. Watch what happens. Alright, so as you lowered it, now you are closer to the ground, so your foreground really leads you into the back. And I'm just going to back this up just a little bit here. I'd say that looks pretty good. And this would be the composition I would use if I took a photo. Right, let me line it up a little better. It's a little crooked. That would be the composition I would use if I wanted to take a photo. And it captures the light on the peaks of the mountains pretty good for at least, my camera is at f2 right now. Let me actually take the photo and show you what it looks like. Alrighty, well, I just packed up. You can see some of the peaks behind me still have some light. The sun has set below the mountains, but not below the horizon yet. You can see, like, this was that reflection I was talking about. How it looks really, really cool if you zoom in here. Well, guys, I just wanted to show you a little cheat code into photographing the moon. And you can see it was real basic. You just shoot at it with a long lens. Now, 7200 can work, but the moon will be pretty small, and anything under 70 millimeters is really, really tiny. And if you want to capture the moon and you don't have a long lens, find a good foreground subject for. Oh, I'm gonna lead myself to death here. I'm walking up the wrong way. But find a good foreground subject and shoot one exposure for the moon and one exposure for the foreground and blend it. That'll be another video one day. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep these short, and you know, I'll also show you in Lightroom the photo. So I'll see you on the computer right now. We're here, so let me just show you. This was the raw before well, this is the raw here. That's what it looked like straight out of camera. Here's the final edit that I chose. And here are some more photos of the eagle actually flying. So I wasn't lying. It really was the first photo that I took. That's what a 7200 looks like. Didn't like it, so I'm not even gonna use it. But yep, here's my photos. That's what they look like. They were about 1 to 2 stops underexposed. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys ever want to see an editing process, just comment below. But there's really not much to it. These compositions I really liked. The eagle threw me off. I wanted to get this, but I was really happy with the eagle photo. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. I hope you learned something from this one. Like, comment, subscribe if you're into that kind of stuff. If not, oh well. But all right. See ya.